You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review is Snowfall, the series finale, season 6, episode 7. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So this episode was a filler and just setting up for the big finale. So we're in episode 7. Of course, we got 3 episodes left, and everything is just getting wrapped up, and we want to see how it ends. So, of course, this is the aftermath. We all know, rest in peace to Jerome Saint. So, the episode begins at their English funeral home where they took Uncle Jerome's body and basically just took his body there so the funeral home could take care of the body. They could accept the funeral without any police contact or anything. You know, Uncle Jerome was already passed. So from there, you have Louis. You know, this episode was about Louis mourning Uncle Jerome. So Leon dropped her off home. And then it goes to Franklin. Franklin, of course, he got to tell his mom. So, you know, she kind of knows that this is the life that they live. And she already lost her husband. Now she just lost her brother. So you can imagine how she could feel. So Reed is home with Parisa. Julia showed up, a.k.a. Jules. And when she shows up, she's pregnant. Now Reed, right before Jules came in, Reed was trying to tell Parisa, like, hey, you need, we got all this money and it's yours. And she said, it's not mine, it's your money. And pretty much, what you gonna give me half of it? Right when she was just telling Reed that he got the keys to her heart and he needed to use it. Nevertheless, back to Jules. She shows up. She pretty much asking him what happened and basically saying your mule going rogue. Asked Reed did he take the money, and Reed said that's our money. So Jules pretty much said, listen, you'll create this narrative in your mind that you're fighting for the country and everything like that, but you will put anybody in harm's way. And one of the greatest thing you gave to me is our son, our child. And pretty much you're going to put our child at risk by going down on the flag pretty much. And she told Reed, just give the money back. So she left. Then him and Parisa had the conversation. Parisa pretty much was just like, you should give the money back. You know Reed ain't going for that. So you had Aunt Louie and Franklin both had nightmares throughout this episode and reliving what they experienced. Aunt Louie got up. She drove frantic. She drove where Scully, part of the projects is, asked to speak to Scully, causing ruckus, and then Scully brought in, and Scully just basically, she asked Scully, how did you find peace after what took place, your daughter and everything? And he was talking to her about it, and he pretty much, she said, so you never want to get any get back? And he's like, yeah, all the time, but what took place is they won't let me do it. Remember a few episodes back where Scully gave Uncle Jerome and Louie that spiritual garment, and then Louie threw hers on the ground, so we already knew it was, just a matter of time. So she left from there, and she went, it's either her girlfriend or her sister, somebody, I think it was her sister. She went to go see, and she's crying, she's all beat up, and the sister's pretty much letting her take a bath and letting her reminisce about Jerome. Gustavo is asleep with Exmera, and they hear a noise. Gustavo get up, goes in. Ruben is sitting at the table with a gun, basically telling Gustavo it's not negotiable. I need Teddy. I need you to get me Teddy. What's going on? Xamira comes out. He already knows her name, and he's real threatening, basically saying, don't make me hurt people. So Gustavo's like, me and my people, we need money. He was like, well, I don't got as much money as your rich friends, but I can start y'all off with a new life. That option definitely doesn't seem like the best option. So he pretty much told Gustavo this would be over in 2 days. So Gustavo was torn between the DEA, CIA, and the KGB. All want him to get to Teddy. So 3 organizations wanted to get to Teddy. Now we got Wanda. Tells Leon he's in here waiting for, loading up, getting ready for war, when she can't take that. So she got to leave the projects, and she got to find a better life. Now, one of my predictions was that Wanda was going to be a casualty of war. But after this episode will leave you to believe Wanda is going to find a safe haven to live. So we're going to see. And so one reason why I say that also, later in the episode, she goes to Sissy's house to collect her things. And then Sissy offers her to stay in one of the apartments that they have in one of the buildings they have. And she was like, you'll do that for me? And she's like, yeah. And she's also asked Wanda, I want you to take over for a time at the mission with the people, because she's not going to be able to show up there anymore. And so Sissy's tired, and she's planning for her exit, whatever's going to come of it. Now, while Louie was taking her bath, she started reminiscing about her past with her sister, and basically how she was victimized growing up and the torture she went through. So that's what it showed when she was getting tortured by King and his goons. She'd been through that before, so that's why she wouldn't give up. So she was just telling her it was worse than that when they was grow up and taken advantage of. So when she was laying in a tub, she got a page. It was Teddy. Teddy pretty much demanded a meet. She basically was woofing back to him, but he said it's non-negotiable. I definitely want to meet. So Gustavo meets up with Franklin, and he, of course, Franklin's supposed to give him the money plus the paperwork. Gustavo tells Franklin everything, that who everybody wants him, CIA, DEA, and KGB. He's tied into all 3 of them, and they all want Teddy. So Franklin is thinking, how can he use that to his advantage to get at Reed? You know, Franklin's determination to get at Reed plus get his money back. So we all go pretty much see he's not going to get the money back. Now, Franklin just said, I'll buy you an extra day with the DEA, because the DEA is pretty much ready to scrap it and just throw Gustavo in jail. Of course, remember Gustavo had like 10 million that got confiscated as well. Then you had when Teddy met Teddy's DC contact, pretty much met up with his superior, and he told everything that Teddy, you know, what he did for the country, and you know, he pretty much Franklin killed Teddy's dad, and so he's building for the superior to get their reassurance to sign off to get backup. He even talked about the money that Reed had. The superior pretty much said he don't want nothing to do with that money. So we're going to see where that comes out with that as well. And he told Teddy's DC contact, you got some loose ends you need to clean up. Basically clean that up. And I've skipped a moment where Jules threatened Teddy, aka Reed, telling him if he don't give Franklin back his money and clear this up, she would do a public execution on Reed and basically go to the public and tell everything that she knew. So that's not good for her to be threatening, because she could come up missing. From there, you had Reed finally meets up with Louis, basically saying he wants Franklin, and he demands Louis to get Franklin. He's seeing her all beat up. He really ain't concerned. He asked about it, but he's not really that concerned. So she pretty much tell him, I gotta bury my husband tomorrow. And he was like, wait, Jerome's dead? And she was like, yeah, because of Franklin. See, this whole episode, Louis had no accountability for any of her actions. That will be her downfall. So from here, you had, she said after the funeral, I set everything up with Franklin. That leaves everything left in the episode. At the end, you had the Jerome Saint's going home party. I mean, it's a party, funeral. And, just a somber moment for everybody showed up. And Scully rolled up and looked at Einstein, the guy with the glasses, with the afro. Looked at him weird. And his Rolly that was looking next to him looked at him. What do you look at you like that for? And so that's what I call that look, because Scully's real spiritual. That's to lead you what's going to happen down the line. So, and nevertheless, everybody went through. Louis was sitting at the front, and she seen Sissy. And she already talked to Sissy early in the episode, let Sissy know she ready for war. So Sissy showed up, looked at her, and she stood there, letting her know Louis on straight go time. Everybody left the funeral. D asked Leon, pretty much, did they get the people who did that to Jerome? Leon said, yeah. Then they stepped. Gustavo showed up. Franklin pretty much said, I got the stuff you needed. So Franklin showed up at the end to ask Aunt Louie, what you need from me? And she said, I got a question. And she was like, why did you come back for me? And pretty much he said, I was taught to respect women, and I was taught to respect women, and I couldn't let that linger on my mind that I let that happen to you. And she said, that's all? And he said, no. I want what you promised me, that you'll get me Reed. And I need all the help I can get right now. And so she said, you really are the devil. And Franklin pretty much was like, hey. And he stepped. Buckley showed up. And we don't know. Remember, Buckley was getting high when they was trying to page him during that time. So from here, it leads me to say, okay, I've been giving death predictions. We already been, Jerome was on the countdown. So I think Einstein, Scully foreshadowed his death. I see the death coming for him. Wanda, kind of, even though I said Wanda was going to be a casualty of war, I just think, I don't know, this episode made me think that, Wanda might not be a casualty of war. She might make it out. Aunt Louie, jail. I still say Aunt Louie going to jail. I think Sissy going to make it out. Franklin, jail. Gustavo's going to be dead. I'm still calling Gustavo. I think he's next on the list to die. Reed, I think jail. I see Reed been doing too much. I think his DC contact is going to turn on him, and they're going to just look at Reed as being, he went rogue, and everything he been standing up for the country, they'll turn his back on him, and pretty much, I think Reed jail. I can't see nobody killing Reed. Either he'd be in jail or he'd kill himself, something like that. But I can't see Reed pretty much getting killed. Either he kills himself or he going to jail. Franklin, jail. I still think Leon's going to survive. And I think that's all. Um, Now, we still got 3 episodes left. And we got 3 stories that never been, like, completed. We had Lucia, Gustavo's old girl. I guess they kind of, at the end of last season, we seen that Gustavo Reed tracked her down. He was going to go see her, but then he just wrote her off like, nah. She was a key character for the longest till, I don't know, so they just, I guess Gustavo's I let her live. So it'd been interesting. I guess she would have no reason to show back up now, right? Then we still have the Alton situation. That we really don't know whether he actually was killed or hit him off somewhere. So they need to relive that situation and close that up. So we got 3 episodes of that. And then what was the last one? Oh, Peaches with the $5 million. He just wrote off with the $5 million. So through all this, what happens with that? So we gotta see how that play out. Peaches taking the $5 million. So the next 3 episodes we'll see if those holes get those subplots get answered and wrapped up as well. So other than that, just an episode of push the story forward. Subscribe to the channel. Do like the video. Make sure all your notification is on. Till next time.